What is the greatest fuck it, I'll do it myself in history? Otis invented pretty much what we consider the modern elevator. Nobody was convinced it was safe, so he hoisted himself up extremely high and had somebody cut the cable with an axe to prove how confident he was that the elevator was safe regardless of almost worst case scenarios. Otis UK are based in Reading. When they answer the phone they say hello, Otis Reading. Maurice Hilleman invented over 40 vaccines during his career in the pharmaceutical industry. In 1963 his oldest daughter caught the mumps. He cultured a sample from her, developed a vaccine, and injected it into his younger daughter. That vaccine is still in use and has saved millions of lives. In total, it's estimated that his work has saved 118 million lives globally. Moops. Until Karen came along and fucked it all up by doing her research. Not a very old story. Moji, or the Mountain Man, lived in a very remote village of India whose route to nearby was blocked to mountain, and hence villagers had to climb it every time. And they had to do that daily to get essential supplies. During one of these trips, his wife fell down the mountain. He loved her a lot. He tried first to persuade the government to do a mountain tunnel project there, but to vain. So he went on alone to break the entire mountain with just an axe. He did that for 10 plus years and finally succeeded. There is a Bollywood movie on him too titled Manji, the Mountain Man. I went there a couple of years back. So if anyone is interested in seeing what it actually looks like, you can take a look here. I feel like he went through a lot of axes, lol. That's pretty impressive though. Perhaps when no one believed Barry Marshall that H. pylori can cause stomach ulcers, so he thought, screw it, I'll test it on myself, and ended up getting the Nobel Prize. Bless him. I have an ulcer and because of him we have a better understanding of how to treat it. Did the same thing. I don't recommend it. James Clerk Maxwell was idolized by Einstein as being the father of modern physics. Not only did he formulate the classical theory of electromagnetic radiation, but just for shits and giggles he calculated exactly what Saturn's rings were made from using pure mathematics. It wasn't until Voyager 1 and 2 passed by and took photos in the early 80s did we get confirmation that Maxwell was right. He then calculated how to take a color photograph in 1855. This was then achieved in 1861 and is recognized as the first ever color photograph. Don't forget his advances in statistical mechanics. He calculated exactly what Saturn's rings were made from using pure mathematics. It wasn't until Voyager 1 and 2 passed by and took photos in the early 80s did we get confirmation that Maxwell was right. Like, how would you even know where to begin with that? The doctor stationed in Antarctica that removed his own appendix. Goddamn. Wasn't that more like, fuck me, I have to do it myself? I think in that scenario, I would have just died to a burst appendix. Probably would have tried to get myself nice and unconscious first, if I could. I'm not performing vivisection on myself, though. Desmond Doss. Single-handedly saved from 50 to 100 men up on Hacksaw Ridge in Okinawa. His company was ordered to retreat when they were attacked by the Japanese, but instead he said nah, stayed up on the ridge alone, unarmed, and dragged as many soldiers as he could to safety without any help. Even when he was shot by a sniper and riddled with shrapnel, he made sure they took another guy down the hillside before him. Was there a movie made about this? Australian stretcher bearer Leslie Allen did a similar thing on Mount Tambu. Carried out 12 men one at a time on his back alone. Received a silver star. I'm surprised no one's mentioned Catherine the Great of Russia. She decided her husband was useless, which, granted, he was, and proceeded to set up a military coup to overthrow him. Even with the plan being discovered early, she dressed herself in military garb and marched with her new army, which had just sworn loyalty to her, down to Peter's palace, where he was forced to resign the throne, all without a single drop of bloodshed. At least until Peter turned up dead sometime later under shady circumstances, but honestly for a military coup it was pretty non-violent. If saying fuck it, I'm ruling Russia myself isn't great, I don't know what is. I mean, it's right there next to her name for a reason. It's incredible, especially considering, A, she's a lady. B, she wasn't Russian. C, she wasn't originally Russian Orthodox. There's a comedy coming out soon on Hulu about this. I thought it looked good and now I know what it's about too. Cliff Stoll, the cuckoo's egg, noticed weird traffic on his university servers. No one believed him that there was any risk occurring. Ended up uncovering a major hacking attempt to steal missile designs and basically created internet security. I think it was missile designs, it's been a long time. Stoll also mentions meeting the NSA's chief cryptologist, Bob Morris. Years later he'd be involved in coordinating the response to the first internet worm, the Morris worm. He had the email address stoll@docmaster, you can find the thread on alt.risks.digest. I bought Klein bottle earrings from this guy. He sells all different sizes. He sent me pictures of his cat along with them. I don't know if I'm allowed to post links to a shop here, but if you search for Acme Klein bottles, that's his site. Henry VIII couldn't get his way with the Pope, so he made the Church of England so he could do what he wanted. This man legit made his own damn religion, which millions still follow today, just so he could cheat on his wife. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.